Hi, my name is Comfort Iang. I did my HTP July 2021 and I have facilitated once, which was the October 2021 cohort. So initially, I didn't know the Holy Spirit personally. I knew there was a Holy Spirit. But then it was in 2018 where God revealed himself to me afresh. Ever since then, I've been on a journey with him, getting to know him and fall in love with him. I'd found out about HTP from one of my pastors. She had asked me to try it because I'd asked her, I'd actually felt a headache before I joined the prayer call. And then she had mentioned she had a headache, so I asked to pray for her. She was like, you know what, you should do this. This will actually be really good for you. And so I registered to HTP. Actually, I waited for HTP for like 7 months. I just kept waiting for July 2021 just to encounter God. And let me tell you this, it was everything and more. What I loved about HTP was the simplicity that we were taught to have with relating to God. You know, most times when you think you need to pray for something, you think you need to do 21 hours, dry fast, or you think you need to pray in tongues for 2 hours every day. But we were taught to think of God as a person who was there and listening, not like he was on a holiday in heaven and Gabriel was like, oh God, you have to call. I was like, I had to wait for 2 more hours and then I'll come answer her. But God was very present and it was so good. So what HTP did is I broke down those walls of religion that I had in my mind, the performance we all have to do to think that God is going to listen to us if you walk left and then you look at your neighbor in his eyes and say this, and then God is going to give you a new job. All those things we are subconsciously taught in church, it broke that down. And I was able to relate to God as a father and a friend. Hi, Holy Spirit. So yes, HTP did that for me and I'm forever grateful. Okay, so I'll tell you of this one moment in HTP. We were supposed to do the Father's Heart of God, but there's a master class that if you join, you would watch. And I had spoken to the Holy Spirit about how I'd felt. So in my mind, I had already sorted out everything with God. And on the call, we were told to tell God how we felt about something that had broken us. And I didn't know what to say or where to start. But by the time I was done, I was crying. I turned off my video. I was so upset with God. When you I had told him my mind as it was, and I was sure he wasn't going to talk to me again. But even after being so honest and so broken, right, it was just the love and the presence of God that I felt. It was so real. And it just showed me that God wanted all of me. He didn't want the parts that were beautiful and the parts that were perfect. He saw my imperfections. Like, he wanted all of that too. I love to tell people that God is an artist. And God is the artist that knows how to use every single type of material to create something beautiful. We've come to a place where we know how to bring out our best parts and present them to God. But God is looking for that broken piece within you that you're hiding to make a masterpiece from. And so for me, that was so beautiful because it taught me to always go to God however I felt. However, if I'm hating on someone, I'm like, God, this guy is really annoying me right now. Deal with him, and then he deals with my heart, which is typically God. But it's just interesting. So yeah, HTP did that. The relationship, the honesty, God became real. He wasn't sitting in the third heavens, banging his stool and hitting people's heads. He was there holding my hand, loving me and walking me through experiences that I needed to walk through. So yes. So treasure hunts were my absolute favorite. Words of knowledge felt like speaking Greek. I was so sure I was going to flop, but another thing HTP did for me is that fear of failure, that fear of making mistakes. HTP allowed us to make mistakes. And so I was going on an adventure with God. I wasn't going to write exams. I was going on an adventure and there was room for failure. And so the very first treasure hunt, I remember I sat down, I was like, Holy Spirit, let's do this. And literally anything that entered my mind, I wrote it down. I didn't care, Holy Spirit, my stomach, my head. I didn't, I just wrote it down and I went out. So I went on a date with my girlfriend that day and we were at Rufus and Bees. And I told her, I'm doing this thing and I need your help because I had zero courage Zero courage whatsoever. So I showed her the clues I had. And what happened was that during HTP, God usually gave me colors of clothes. And so we started going around Rufus and looking for people. And I found this woman. And you know, I was afraid because she looked like all these very wealthy, snobbish people. But just approaching her, the way she was able to open up to a random, she was like, I don't know I'm telling you this. That kind of random, and you're a random stranger, why am I really telling you my deepest fears? Was how real God is and how God is waiting to encounter people, how God is waiting for a moment with each of us. And I had this clue, I will never forget this. It was pink, healing. Those were the clues. Healing's back pain, right? And so I finally find this elderly woman and I go to her because obviously who would need healing? An elderly woman. I go to her and I tell her, okay, I'm doing what's in the present, a course. I'm doing I just thought I'm doing something fun. God gives me clues. I look for the people and I have a word for them. So she asked me and I told her I had pink and I had healing. And she told me that, oh really, that's interesting. That she's a healing minister. So I was like, wow. Who would know that it would turn out like that? And I asked her, okay, do you have any pain? And she was like, why don't you ask God? And for me, it was Holy Spirit teaching me with a treasure during a treasure hunt. And so I sensed that God was saying her leg, and she says, okay, and I will pray for her leg. And she starts to pray for me, and she prays for healing for my back. And I was so confused because my back didn't hurt, right? But turns out 2 weeks later, I had back pain. So when the back pain came, I was like, you're too late, bro. Leave. Like, you've already been dealt with before I even thought of coming. And so treasure hunts were exciting for me. It was meeting people and people coming back later to tell me, oh, really, you prayed for me last week and God did it. And it just, you know, when you're like, maybe I should write my name in my treasure hunts too and pray for myself, because God was answering people and meeting people and people were having encounters with God. The fact that He knows He knows you, He knows your name, and He loves you so deeply is what I really love about, treasure hunts. God is constantly searching for us. So yeah. HCP is for everybody. Whether you're young, you're old, you're single, you're married, you're colored, you're not colored, you have a job, you own a business. HCP brings God to you in a real way and gives you the tools you need to work with God daily. So whatever it is you do, wherever you are in the world, we have the internet, thank God. You're welcome to join HTP, and we're excited to have you on board. One of the things God did for me in HTP was heal me. You know, there are times you're broken and you don't even realize that you're broken, right? I didn't know how to receive love and I didn't know how to love. HTP literally broke down those walls. I couldn't put emojis, hugs emojis. I was not that person. Now if I send you messages, there are like 3 hug emojis at the bottom. That is God. That there is a testimony. God took down my fear of being rejected. HCP allows you to be vulnerable. You can be yourself. And because you are known fully by God, there's nothing for you to try to pretend to be, if you know what I mean. You don't have to be Sister C. You're perfect the way you are. So HCP is a community that's full of love, and we love vulnerability. We encourage vulnerability. God works with us when we're honest and when we're true. And so I can't wait to meet the you that you truly are, and we're all excited to just welcome you to our loving arms with many emojis. So, yeah. So as a facilitator, I love to call them my babies. I love them so much. I had all sorts of amazing students. And what I realized with God is that the posture of your heart determines how you receive. So I'll give you an example. If there's a well that has water, right? The well has unlimited supply of water, meaning that the water never finishes. Someone can come with a spoon, a cup, or a bucket. But what they leave with from the well depends on how much they're expecting to carry, meaning how much room they make for it. And it's the same with HCP. There are people that come and they have an encounter with God that defines them for the rest of their lives. And there are people you will meet online that will tell you it was a terrible experience, that had too many assignments. So come expecting to meet with God because He's waiting to receive you. Okay? Don't listen to what they are saying. Come wanting your own experience. Don't let anybody's experience color what you're coming to receive. We love you so much and we hope you're getting your buckets ready. Thank you.